So today's video is going to be about how to wake up early and not hate it. And hopefully in this video, I can illuminate for you some ways that will help you kind of look forward to your mornings, make more meaning out of your mornings. I'm not guaranteeing that I'm going to make you a full-blown slap happy morning person, but progress is progress. Today's video is sponsored by Wind. Wind is a skincare line I have been playing with for I don't know, like 3 or 4 months now. Fun fact, this video was supposed to go up way back in like December or something. So I have actually had tons of time to mess with this product line and I love every single thing I have tried. I've talked ad nauseum to you guys about the Marrakesh Light Illuminating Magic Oil and also the Oasis Fresh Dissolving Jelly Cleanser. This stuff is amazing for a first cleanse or a second cleanse, but first cleanse especially. But today I wanted to talk to you guys about the Kashba Stars Radiance Renewing Night Serum, because part of what I want you guys to focus on when you are trying to become a morning person is ways that you can kind of boost up and enjoy your night routine, because a good morning starts with a good night. And a big part of my night routine is my shower, my shower and my skincare routine. I've been putting this in my night routine a lot lately and I am hooked on it. Everything about this line in general is super exciting for me as someone who loves skincare. So this serum is ideal for nighttime because this is your AHA, BHA, and PHA. My kid always goes aha, baha, paha whenever she sees me use a product that has this. What I love about this one in particular is that, first of all, the texture is so interesting to me. I have a ton of serums. Obviously, I have a lot of experience with them, but this one, it's like a cloud. It is so silky and so soft. It is so hydrating. Like, whenever you're using more exfoliating products on your skin, it's always a good idea to either prep the skin with lots of moisture, but if you can't do something like that, having a exfoliating product that has lots of hydrating and soothing ingredients in them will kind of give you the benefits of the exfoliation and the brightening and the clarity, but not make your skin feel stripped or over exfoliated, damage your skin barrier. This product is perfect for that. This thing has 95% natural ingredients for those of you who are very particular about that kind of thing. It also, like I said, has the AHA and the BHA, which helps clarify the skin. I could just sit here and rub this on my hand. The texture is so nice. But yeah, the AHA and the BHA brightens and clarifies the skin, but it also has aloe vera, which is going to again soothe and calm the skin while it's doing that. It also has vitamin E in it as well, and you can actually use this one every night. And if you're like me and well, I don't even think it's just me. I think in general, the conversation of compromised skin barrier and how to avoid overexfoliation is really popular right now. And if that's something you're concerned with, then this would be a great option for you because you're not going to run in. I've used this and I also use Retin-A, you guys. Retin-A is an extremely harsh, it's not necessarily an exfoliant, but it speeds up your cell turnover. So it's kind of the same thing. And you have to be careful with what other exfoliants you use with it. And I can use this one several nights a week in conjunction with my Retin-A, and I'm not experiencing a lot of over exfoliation or damage to my skin barrier as a result. This is something you'll use and you will notice an improvement in your skin. Gosh, it smells good. It has like a light, natural lavender scent to it, nothing too overbearing. But yeah, you will notice a difference the next morning when you use something like this. In general, I love all of the Wind products. Like I said, when they asked me to do this video, they really wanted me to highlight this serum because it's new and it's amazing. But I could sit here and just talk about the whole product line forever. It's great. If you have not looked into this line, I will leave all the information about it down below. You can use code Whitney20 for 20% off your order of Wind. Again, everything down below. Make sure you check it out. Make sure you tell them I said hi. I will have some more skincare and chat videos. It's a new series I'm trying to start on my channel coming soon, and you will consistently see Wind products in it all the time. So keep your eyes out for that. Again, thank you to Wind for sponsoring this video. And let's move on to the meat and potatoes of the video and kind of throwing back to what I said about Wind and skincare routines and things of that nature. Let's talk about how you build an effective, awesome, productive, delicious, healthy nighttime routine. Your morning routine kind of starts with your nighttime routine. I remember when my daughter was really little and it was getting to that time, excuse me, let me put my juice down. It was getting to that time where we wanted to start getting her to sleep through the night. And if you've ever been a parent or a new parent, you know how much like you want that day to come. The main thing you are told when that is like what your objective is to get your kid into a routine. Usually they recommend a bath time, a story, things like that, things to wind them down and signal to them that it's time to rest, it's time to relax, it's time to get sleepy. Fun fact, the longer I'm a parent, especially of a teenager, the more I'm starting to understand that all of the things that we try to tell kids to do and that we're told to do for our kids, the more I realize that's stuff that's good for us as well. I don't know. It's like we think once we reach a certain age, suddenly all these, healthy habits and things like that not only cannot benefit us, but like we're too old for them or something. So one of the best things you can do if you want to start having a good night routine, which the whole point of it, much like when my daughter was little, is to help you fall asleep faster, help you unwind. Because if you're tired every morning when you wake up, it is impossible that you're ever going to have a good morning. Like nothing is worse than that alarm going off and you've probably had 3 solid hours of sleep and you have to get up and get at them right away. Like that's why people tend to hate the idea of a morning. It's just too much right away when they're already sleepy. So again, nighttime routines are crucial for that. I found some research about nighttime routines and I will leave all the articles that I read down below. But one of the things that I saw that I thought was interesting is, quote, bedtime routines play an important role in reducing late night stress and anxiety. Anxious thoughts and rumination activate your mind and your sympathetic nervous system. Like I told you guys before, I have panic disorder and your sympathetic nervous system, and when it gets activated and starts running the show, ruins your life. So anything you can do to not activate that thing, probably in your best interest. This article says that left unchecked, these kind of worrisome thoughts and things like that can intensify and turn into insomnia. And by following a bedtime routine, you can keep your mind focused on other tasks and encourage yourself to relax instead. So one of the biggest goals I have for myself right now is to develop better bedtime and morning routines. Bedtime routines are a little bit easier for me. I'll explain why mornings are so hard for me in a minute. But in general, having good, solid, easy to remember, enjoyable routines for me is kind of crucial. Because if you're anything like me, where in my case, like I have my own business, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I feel like all day I am just making a ton of decisions. I think, what did I read? Hold on, I wrote it down. Yeah. By the time the average person goes to bed, they've made over 35,000 decisions. And every single one of those decisions take time and energy and can deplete us. Like you can actually suffer. I mean, the science is still kind of out on it, but people are starting to talk about it and put together some correlation versus causation ideas around this concept. But essentially, you can absolutely suffer from something called decision fatigue, because making decisions and things like that does take so much actual energy and we only have so much of it a day. So routines, both morning and night, help with that. It's like any chance you can get to go on autopilot, which is also why I like to plan. I'm such a planner because I want some decisions made for me ahead of time. Like I just want to show up and do what someone tells me to do. I don't want to have to also think about what I have to do that day. Like the act itself is tiring enough. So routines take that out of the equation for you. It gives you some autopilot stuff, just signaling again the brain to calm down. And then a good nighttime routine should also set you up for a really good morning tomorrow, like I've been saying. So in terms of how to develop a good night routine, the first thing I want you to consider is what you can do at night that's going to set you up for a good day tomorrow. My husband is actually the king of this. Like he makes all his little breakfast beverages. He gets his little coffee situation ready, and he likes like protein shakes and things like that in the morning. He gets all that figured out the night before. I have my daughter like make her lunch and get her clothes ready the night before. Anything you can do that kind of eliminates the need for you to start immediately running around and grabbing stuff and trying to figure out, go ahead and do it the night before. Get your keys and your purse together, lay your clothes out. I like to jot down kind of my plan for the next day. So again, I can just wake up and get to it. anything you can do. I mean, like I usually, if I'm feeding the dogs in the morning, I like to have the dog bowls out by the dog food. Like anything I can do to eliminate a step I have to take in the morning is a step in the right direction. The next part of your night routine I would suggest implementing is taking a bath. I know some people are morning showerers. I guess technically you can do both, but I personally cannot go to sleep unless I take a shower. I cannot stand the idea of like walking around all day in this dirty planet we live on with pollution and smog and smoke and dirt, and I have dogs and they're wallowing all over me all day, and then getting in my bed and just sleeping in my own filth. Like I cannot abide it. But also, if you've been watching my channel for any length of time, you know that I believe in the big shower, and I can't take one every day. Don't get me wrong. I do not take a big shower every day, but morning showers, maybe they wake you up. I don't know. There could be some benefit to it, but in the morning, technically, you kind of gotta do everything a little quicker. I do it at night because I want to get up in there and chill. Like when I take a nighttime shower, that's like really my me time for the day. I will lock myself in that bathroom for 45 minutes plus when I'm doing my shower, because I want to exfoliate, I want to shave, I want to, wash my hair if necessary. I want to do my body treatments when I get out. I got to do my skincare. Like I go to bed so clean and squeaky and fresh. It just, I don't know. It's Pavlovian for me now. I cannot go to bed without a shower. Also, there is studies. let me pull this up. So according to the study that I found, it says that in the hours before bedtime, a human's core body temperature naturally cools while the temperature of the hands and feet increase. And scientists hypothesize that immersing the body in warm water aids this natural temperature regulation process, which improves your sleep. Researchers have dubbed this phenomenon the warm bath effect. So also a great way to stimulate your brain and kind of signal it that it's time to wind down. That's why a lot of people like to use like lavender and stuff like that in their shower routine for that reason. The next thing you can do is journal. If you are trying to get into a journaling practice, which I highly recommend, the best way to start journaling is to find a way to put it in your morning or your night routine. According to this study that I found, which I will link down below, essentially there is something to be said for kind of jotting down your to-do list for the next day before you go to sleep. That goes back to kind of like my planning thing. I guess the idea is that you're purging all of this stuff out of your brain, and you're not kind of just sitting up and thinking about like what you need to do tomorrow. You already have it outlined and figured out, and it's there and ready to be addressed the next day. Again, also why I'm telling you to get as many things done the night before that you can, because sometimes like why I dread a morning is I'm just sitting there like, oh my God, I have so much to do tomorrow. This is a great way to avoid that. So journaling, a bath, getting your nighttime routine in general together. Some other things you can do is a 20-minute tidy. Every night if I can, I like to do a 20-minute tidy. Like I cannot stand waking up to dishes in the sink and a mess, because it's basically like being slapped in the face with a to-do list the second you open your eyes. And bonus points if you can do things like start having your family lower their voices, dimming the lights, like creating an environment that lowers the cortisol and just gets you primed for relaxation is definitely bonus points. This looks like a pajama shirt, but it's actually a button up that is like way too big on me. I was going for a buy, but I don't know if I'm getting it. Anyway, the next tip I want you guys to consider is practicing good sleep hygiene. I talked about this in a video recently. Now, some people say that your nighttime routine and sleep hygiene are the same thing. I'm going to respectfully disagree and say that your nighttime routine is everything you do before you get into bed, and sleep hygiene is what you're practicing that makes your time in bed better, if you know what I mean. Yeah, but the idea here is just to create an environment in your room and in your immediate surroundings that is conducive to you getting the most restful, relaxed, delicious sleep you can think of. First thing I want you to do, and I feel like this is something I find a way to sneak into every single video, is to get off your screens. Like there is so much research. And in fact, again, going back to things that we think our kids need to do, but somehow we think we're exempt from. My kid does not take her phone to bed. It's not something I think anyone should do. I don't think you should be up scrolling into the last minute you fall asleep. And here's a few reasons why. Number one, we all know how bad blue light is for our sleep cycle and our circadian rhythm. And that is because blue light blue light, to paraphrase it in a way that, I don't know, someone will correct me on. Essentially, blue light kind of triggers the same chemical response in your brain that the sun does. Like since we were in the caves, we have known that we get up in the daytime and that's when we do our stuff, when we go into our cave at night or into our home at night and sleep, because predators and things like that we can't see are out there. So we are, for all intents and purposes, meant to be, what is the opposite of nocturnal? My kid just asked me that the other day and I don't know. We're supposed to be up in the daytime. That is why staring into essentially like the sun until you're trying to fall asleep is so bad, because your brain thinks this means you're supposed to be awake. So staring at your screens right before you try to fall asleep is actually going to prolong how long it takes you to fall asleep. Not only is it just a terrible use of your time, I don't get it. I'll never understand this. But, you know, if you just have to do it, I don't recommend it, but if you just have to do it, invest in things like blue light blockers. Figure out ways to get your, there's settings on your phone that can change the light. Like all my screens that are not my TV, which if this is a setting on my TV, I need to find out. They automatically at a certain time turn into a warm tone. So if I do look at my screen before bedtime, it's not getting me the way it would otherwise. Also, another reason I don't recommend being on your phone before you go to bed is, and this is something that I thought was really interesting. I found it in an article, again, I'll link it down below, that one of the hardest things about social media is that you lose control. Meaning while you can select who you're friends with on Facebook, you can't control what they post or the targeted ads or news updates that appear in your feed if someone posts something that affects you. I could not agree with this more. It's why I've been saying for so long, y'all need to curate your social media feeds, because it is ridiculous that someone's social media post has the ability to ruin your day, but it does. Like it's interesting to me because like I have seen things on social media that have just put me in a negative headspace, and the last place and time I want to be in a negative headspace is right before I fall asleep, especially if like the thing that they posted is inducing anxiety in me. So cannot recommend getting off your phone before you go to bed. In fact, put your phone on another side of the room, get it away from you, so even the temptation to keep grabbing it all night goes away. So on the subject of lighting, I highly recommend getting some soothing lighting in your room. I'm not a fan of overhead lighting on the best day, like it's so horrible. I much prefer lamps and things of that nature, smaller light fixtures being turned on. Again, like I said in your nighttime routine, the sooner you can start dimming the lights, quieting the volume, the better. But especially once you get in your bedroom, me and my husband have salt rock lamps or whatever on our bedside tables. And we also have these like galaxy lights that turn like the ceiling all these cool colors. I don't know. I don't know so much if the galaxy lights have any actual benefit other than like they're cool to look at. And again, it's kind of like seeing them signals to my brain that it's nighttime, it's time to go to bed. But the salt lamps in and of themselves are just like the most beautiful, calming, soothing, warm tone light that immediately when those lights come on, I kind of want to crawl into bed. Like they have this weird, again, Pavlovian effect on me. We freaking love them. Like we've gotten rid of all the big harsh lamps and stuff like that in our room. It's really chill on the lighting scenario. Bonus points if you can find a way to throw something that activates your sense of smell. Like I usually light incense or something like that when I'm trying to get in a restful place. My favorite is the Indian temple incense. I'll leave it down below. But again, when you're trying to, I don't want to say trick your mind into going to sleep, but yeah, one of the best ways to do that is to engage your senses. So sight, sound, and touch. Make your bed when you get up in the morning so it's nice and tug and snug. I said tug and snot. I meant to say tight and snug. And clean, fresh sheets. I submit to you that there's almost nothing better in the world than being freshly showered and like sliding into a set of freshly washed sheets. It is so good. Also, turn the heat down. Try to make your room as cool as you can. Apparently, the optimal sleep temperature is between 60 and 67 degrees Fahrenheit. This article that I found says that as you sleep, your body temperature lowers naturally, and introducing your body to a cooler environment helps stimulate sleep and allows you to cycle naturally through the sleep stages. So dark, cool, clean, smells good. All these things are a way of practicing good sleep hygiene. And for me, I definitely read a book before I go to sleep. I love to read, and nighttime before I go to bed is like when I get to do it. So that's another way that kind of helps me wind down. The only thing that we're not doing as well as I wish we were, we did pretty good for a while and then we backed off of it, is we still sleep with the TV on. And that is literally because I have to have noise when I sleep, and particularly it has to be like a human voice talking. In my perfect world, it would be ASMR, but my husband hates it. So we're trying to figure out something we can listen to and sleep that's not the TV. But again, it just, I don't know, I can't sleep without noise. It's got to be some primitive caveman thing that tricks my brain into thinking that like part of the tribe is keeping watch while I sleep. I don't know what it is. I need it. If you guys have any solutions to that, please let me know. Okay, so we've been going on and on in this video about sleep, and you're like, I thought we were talking about mornings. Can we do that now, please? Well, here we are. I felt like it was important to talk about sleep and getting ready for the night before because, like I said, I think that is truly why people hate getting up in the morning, and what makes them dread it is they're tired, they feel flushed, I cannot talk. They feel flustered and rushed right when they wake up, and there's nothing pleasant about that. Fun fact, I did hear one time that certain people have a really, I don't know how true this is, but it made sense to me. Certain people have a really hard time getting up in the morning because if you think about it, like when we're sleeping, it's literally like we go somewhere else. Like we're in this different world, and then to wake up from it is this sudden like transition, and it's kind of a big transition if you think about it. That's why I am not like a get up and let's get rushing kind of person. Like I need to feel my way into this state of consciousness. But anyway, in a perfect world, you have had a good night's sleep, you slept well, you had a good night routine, so when you wake up, you know, there's not, again, dishes in the sink, you're not scrambling to remember what you have to do today, your keys and your purse and everything are by the door, your clothes are laid out, like the minutia of the morning has kind of already been handled because the past version of yourself did that for you. Thanks, past self. But what you want to do now is, again, I'm going to say it again, stay off your phone. In a perfect world for me, I would like to not touch my phone until a hard 8 or 9 a.m. 8 or 9 a.m. is when I finally sit down and like start working. Some days I go to yoga, and I guess that would be the exception. But for the most part, around 9 a.m., I am in front of my computer and I'm getting work done. The problem is we all pick that phone up like way too soon in the morning, and much the same reason it's not great before you go to bed in terms of like you can't control what you're going to see. Who in the world wants to wake up and start their day with the doom scrolling and all the shitty things that are going on nonstop? Like I need a minute, not to mention your phone, particularly if like your work email is on your phone, turns into an immediate to-do list the second you wake up. So if you can avoid getting on your phone for as long as possible when you wake up, I would encourage doing it. And for those of you who say you can't do it, I submit this to you. I did not get my first smartphone until I was 24. I'm 36 now. So for 24 years until I got that phone, I would get up and not look at a phone or the internet or an inbox or anything for hours, if at all, that day until I sat down in front of a desktop or a laptop. Like, we've done this in our lives. We just are so dependent on it now that the idea of not doing it seems preposterous, but you can do it and it's probably the best thing for you. As far as like morning routines in general, the reason I said I have a hard time with them is because even as much as I am determined to make the most out of my mornings, my brain, the minute I wake up, like wants to just get this day started. I have got to force myself to enjoy my morning. And the best way to do this, in my opinion, is get up earlier than you are getting up now. I have to take my daughter to school at 7 a.m. I get up at 6 on a bad day. On a good day, I'm up at 5. That's 2 hours that I have to myself that I'm not going to have the rest of the day, because once 7 a.m. gets here and I'm taking her to school, that's essentially when like life gets at me and I have to start tackling whatever is on my to-do list. But those 2 hours before I take her to school are probably the quietest, most solitary, most intentional parts of my day. And if I would just slow down and enjoy them, the days that I do slow down and enjoy them, I feel like are the best days, the most productive days, the happiest days that I have. And there are a myriad different types of morning routines that people like to participate in, and the amount of time that you have and what your goals are will dictate what those routines are going to be. But some solid things you should solid things for me to do in the morning, like on a good morning for me, I will try to work out. That's if I'm not going to yoga, because yoga is always at like 9 a.m. So there's no, working out before I take my daughter to school in that scenario. But I can ride my bike or I'll do yoga at home. That would be ideal. I have my avocado toast. I take my supplements, hot water with lemon. I try to drink as much water when I first wake up as possible because, hello, you didn't drink anything for 8 hours. I love to morning pages when I have time to do it. And if you don't know what morning pages is, it's in this book called The Artist's Way. And the idea is that you're going to sit down and write 3 pages, stream of conscious style. Don't lift your pen off the page. Don't even think about what you're writing, but you're just purging. You're getting everything out of your head. Maybe you're going to write about what you dreamt last night. You ever have those dreams that like kind of screw you up for the rest of the day? Great opportunity to get that out. Yeah, morning pages. I'll meditate 5 minutes. Throw a 5-minute meditation in there. If you got up 2 hours earlier, you definitely have time for that. On a good day, I love to have time to do my hair and makeup, like get ready for the day. If you've been working from home for a while and that doesn't seem like it's going to end anytime soon for you, this is something that gets away from us and we tend not to do as much. But when I do it, I feel so much more productive and alert and like up and at 'em. And if I don't do it as soon as I wake up or as close to waking up as I can, it probably won't happen. So it's also a good opportunity when I'm getting ready to listen to a podcast or an audiobook that is uplifting and positive. Again, first thing in the morning, no drama channels, no true crime, no news, just nothing negative. Like you can have all that crap later in the day. I'm not saying get rid of it forever, but just right when you get up, like let's get our mindset right. It's hard for me to say like what your morning routine should be because not everyone's day looks the same every day. Mine certainly doesn't. I think the idea is to find a way to make your morning meaningful. It needs to mean something to you. It needs to have a purpose to you because often what follows our mornings, particularly Monday through Friday, is a bunch of stuff we don't want to do. So obviously we can avoid doing the stuff we want to do, and some people want to sleep as long as humanly possible before they have to go do the stuff they don't want to do, thinking that's the solution, but I don't think it is. I think the solution is to carve yourself some time to do things you want to do before the rest of the world gets to take over you and decide what you're going to do. So in general, if I had to condense this video into something short, I would say focus on your routines, morning and evening, and get better sleep. Like it's such a simple concept, but so many people are running around sleep deprived and annoyed and screaming at their kids every morning because they're just stressed out and didn't take the time to set intention. I am not perfect with any of this stuff 100% of the time. Like I said, it is my objective to get better at these things, but it's a place to start. And excuse me. And you got to start somewhere. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you again to Wind for sponsoring the video. Check the down bar once more for 20% off your order using my code Whitney20. As always, thank you to this, almost said to the sponsors. Thank you to the patrons. I guess technically they are sponsoring this video too. We are reading You Are a Goddess by Sophie Bashford over there this month. The book club meeting will not be until the middle to end of April because I want to post some things and some sort of like, I don't know, food for thought that lines up with each chapter of the You Are a Goddess book, again, by Sophie Bashford, because each chapter is about a goddess archetype, and I think it would be fun to kind of dive into those different chapters a little more thoroughly than we can really do in like an hour and a half book club meeting. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, make sure you subscribe if you are new here, thumbs up the video if you enjoy it, and I will catch you in the next one.